ladies and gentlemen. I'm back. Haven't shot any videos in a while, but we're going to shoot this one, by God. Today we are replacing the Hydraboost on the 08 F-250. I don't know if you guys can see back there. I'm trying to look at the viewfinder on my phone and point the camera down there, but it's got quite a leak. Let's see if I can bring it around here. Y'all may or may not be able to see that. I can't tell. So the little accumulator on the back there has quite a leak, and my brake pedal is a little bit spongy. So we're going to go ahead and replace this sucker today. I really hope the video isn't stuttering like it looks like it's stuttering on that phone, but we'll find out here momentarily. And anyway, we're going to start out by taking this line, and then there's a connection down there that goes to the bottom of the dgas bottle. We're going to first I'm going to empty this, obviously. So release any pressure you have on your dgas bottle, like so. And this is a good time to replace this cap. So if you don't know, this helps maintain that 16 psi, which is what your cooling system needs. Too many times people forget about this, and it's not good. Either have it tested or replace it. It's probably just easier to replace it. But then after that, we're going to take both batteries out, just because I don't like having electricity bouncing around. Too easy to knock a cable into something metal, and it's just easier to take the batteries out. I can reset my radio stations pretty easily. So take batteries out, and then there's 3 bolts on the dgas bottle. After we drain it, take this hose, this, and there's another hose down there. I'm going to pinch that off with some hose clamps, or hose. I've got some special pliers that block off hoses. Take all this out, then we'll get started on the loosening the brake master cylinder. I'm not going to disconnect anything, maybe the wires, just so that I don't pull on them, but we'll disconnect the master cylinder, and then we'll get going on the Hydraboost, and I'll show you guys step by step how to do it. So hang tight. Alright, boys and girls, we got both batteries out now. You can't really see over there. Big empty hole. Big empty hole. So now there are 1, 2, 3, and 4. Those 4 bolts. We're going to take out this whole thing. The battery tray and the dgas bottle will come out as an assembly. There's that one hose I was talking about, and then way down deep in there, see that hose right there. It comes off the exact same way as the radiator hose comes off. Pry the clip up, it slides out. Inspect the O-ring on the inside before you put it back on, replace if necessary. We'll have this completely out of the way, and we'll be able to work back there. So these are the pressure lines for your Hydraboost right here, but we're not going to disconnect them from here. We're going to disconnect them. There's a pressure line right there. There's a pressure line back there, and this is the return line. So if you have to use a tool, if you have to use a open-end wrench, it's a pressure line. If it's a metal line, it's a pressure line. If it's a rubber line, it's a return line. Okay? So let me get this dgas bottle out of here. You guys really don't need to see me siphoning fluid back out of there so that I don't make a mess in the driveway. Of course, I'm not going to reuse it, but I am going to pump as much out of this as I can so I don't make a mess. So we'll get right back to that. And just FYI, this little blue tape here, this is my this is how I tell the dates marked on there. But when it's cold, it starts going down, you know, after it's set for the night, and I come out and it's down here where it is right now, then I need to start looking at where my coolant's going. But as long as it comes up to this blue line every time, I know that I'm not losing antifreeze anywhere, which it's down here right now because I started the truck and moved it over here, so it did suck some in, but we'll check that when it's warm. So, alright, give me a second. Let me get this degas bottle out of here and then we'll get going. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, it is out of here. So, I spilled a little bit more coolant than I wanted to, but what are you going to do, right? Now is the time, if you have a slack steering box, now is the time to get down in there and adjust it if you're going to. It is straight down there. There's no light. You can't see shit. But the steering gearbox is right there. Much easier to get to right now than with the degas bottle in there. Let's see if I can get the camera back the way it was. Alright, so now we have all this room to work in here. First thing we're going to do, I think I'm going to go ahead and leave these plugs on here because I really don't want to break one of them trying to get it off. So there's flexible lines right here. It goes metal, then flex, then metal again, where it goes into the ABS computer. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take the mount bolts off there and there, and we'll just pull this straight back and kind of lay it over. Then we can really get in there to the Hydraboost and get to work. So let me grab some stuff real quick and we'll get going. Alright, I think I got what we need here. Whew. I tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, if you ain't got one, these Milwaukee Fuel Series, no, this isn't sponsored. I just saw some other guys using them, bought one and tried it. I tell you what, if you ain't got one, spend the money and get one, because these things are awesome. Works like a ratchet. Oh, well, works like a ratchet till it don't. Oh, by the way, on the bottom of your degas bottle, don't forget, get this out of the way. Bottom of your degas bottle, don't forget about this guy. A little vacuum hose that's hooked up to the bottom of your degas bottle. I almost forgot about that sucker and damn near ripped it out. Alright, don't lose the nut. Okay. Remember that this holiday season, boys. Don't lose your nut. Now, the language Nazis will be after me. You haven't seen my DPF video. I had some language Nazis mad at me for saying things. Not that I give two shits, but I thought it was comical to say the least that somebody gets angry about language on the internet when there's far worse shit going on in the world. Got to thinking about it, and it's really cool of me to make a YouTube video of a dark space. So we're trying to get to, this is going to go sideways for a second. That bolt, there's a bolt right behind that cannon plug, or that plug that you guys really can't see. Maybe you can see it now. Anyway, we're getting that one. And there's that one right there. That little bracket that I'm fighting with is the one that's holding these hydraulic lines. You probably can't hear me because I was talking above the hood and had the camera below the hood. Anyway, that's what we're doing. I put some PB blaster on it. I got some light so I can see what the hell I'm doing. Tell you what, if you don't use PB blaster, you should. I put that stuff on there literally 10 seconds ago, and it looks like it's a crush bolt. I don't know if y'all can see that. Anyway. Either way. I got that. Now that stupid ass bracket's gonna be a pain in my... So I'm gonna have to open the return right now. There shouldn't be any pressure on it because before I started all of this, I I pumped the brakes till they were hard, which took all the pressure off of the Hydraboost. I ain't gonna be able to do that with my fingers, am I? Probably not. So we need this out of the way. I wonder if I should replace this hose while I'm in here. Doesn't seem... It's not cracked or anything. Ah. Quit replacing shit you don't need to, Mike. I don't know about y'all, but I have a bad habit of that. Now I'm in here, I might as well replace this before you know it. A $40, $50 job turns into a $500 job. Oh, quit being a pain in the ass. I got that one popped up. Oh, and then it popped right back in. I really don't want to loosen that and make a mess, but I may have to. I'll just get this bracket off here and be done with it instead of screwing around. Come on, baby. Come on, Bessie. Man, that thing's Saurus. It should slide on there. There we go. I just needed to pull up there at the top. Now we can slide this bad boy out the way. We're gonna turn that over here. Like I said, there's flex lines right here, so I'm not bending any brake lines. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we are down to the actual Hydraboost. Can y'all see that? Probably not very well. Down to the actual Hydraboost. So we're gonna take this return line off first, and I'm gonna try like hell not to make a mess. Then the two pressure lines, but first I'm gonna go. Well, actually, I'm gonna crack them loose first. That way, I'm not fighting it, trying to get the. Once I loosen the Hydraboost up on the inside, which I'll show you guys. But yeah, you can see it's been leaking for a while. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I got the. Damn it. We got the return line off, which is right here, and both pressure lines are loose, and they're both 18s like I just showed you. So now we're gonna go inside the truck and see what we need to get the back half off. I know it's dirty. There's not going to be much that I can show you guys underneath here. I'll try to step by step get back under there and shoot a little bit, show you what it looks like with it off, kind of explain to you what I did, but there's just not enough room right here for me to do all this. And of course I took the batteries out of my truck, and now my power seat won't move back, obviously, with no battery. So it's going to be kind of tight in here, and I'll get back with y'all when I get that switch off and show you how I did it. So it's a little orange piece, or green piece, or whatever the hell this thing is. Sits up on the top of there like that, and it's covering the spring. You just pinch the top. Can't do this hand hold. Pinch the top and push, and it comes open like that. and then you can get to the spring that's holding the pin in, or the, I guess it would be a spring pin or a cotter pin, depending on what you call it. We'll put that right there. So I'll show you all the next step. Well, here, let me show you what it looks like. Now you can see, maybe, see the pin up in there? So now we can get that pin out and slide everything through. All right, boys and girls, we got everything off. It's actually pretty self-explanatory. Got the 4 mount bolts right there. There's the pin that I showed you earlier. The cover. This little hat goes on the, I guess it would be passenger side of the push rod up there. And then of course the switch just slides in there. So what it looks like right now is, bash the camera around, nice 4K camera I'm beating the shit out of. So the rod's off, the mount bolts are out, it's ready to come out of there. All I gotta do is go take the hoses off and it's reverse and removal. So if we do this just right, I should be able, oh yeah, these things are nice. Now thankfully, I had pre-loosened these. Yeah, but that one's gonna be a pain. I had already pre-loosened these bad boys, so it shouldn't be too tough coming out. I think this one's just a little stuck to where I can't do it with my hand, or it's going to be a pain in the ass all the way out. That could very well be too. Yep, it's going to be a pain in the ass all the way out. So I'm not going to bore y'all with this, but all right, boys and girls, we got the ugly old nasty sumbitch out of there. So on the ends of these lines, you might be able to see it right there. There's a little rubber hose right there, or rubber O-ring, I'm sorry, on both of them. Do not skip this step. Do not think, well, it wasn't leaking before, I'm not going to replace them. Replace the damn O-rings. I can't stress that enough. You do not want to be back in here doing this again because your brand new Hydraboost is leaking all over the damn place. Replace the O-rings. They come with it. It's easy to do. Replace them. Boy, I tell y'all what. So the battery on the camera died. The battery on my phone was dying. So now I have I don't know if y'all can see it or not, I have a power pack hooked into the camera. I am going to film the rest of this in 4K, by God. So I got the new unit installed, and I don't have a viewfinder right now, so I have no idea what you guys are looking at. I'm kind of just looking down the camera and hoping I'm pointing in the right area. I'm about to put these two, not those two, but two new ones. See how these are, I don't know if y'all can see it, but they're formed already, right? So we're gonna put new ones on there, on each of the pressure lines, and then put them in there so that they can form to the new Hydraboost so that it seals up. So that's why I say do not skip this step. So yeah, so I'm gonna put those onto the ends of the lines. We're gonna put the lines in, we'll put the return hose on, and then we put the master cylinder back in. Now this piece right here, mine didn't come with this piece. So I had to pull this piece and the spring and the retainer out of the old Hydraboost. And there was a note in there saying, reuse the old spring, push rod, and retainer. So it was good about telling me that I needed to reuse that, because that would have sucked. Because I'd have just went ahead and installed it and then went, well, the hell, the brakes don't work. So, yeah. But really easy stuff here. We're going to put rubber O-rings on, install the lines, put the return line on, put this back, the master cylinder back on, bolt it all up, and then put the degas bottle back in, remembering our vacuum hose on the bottom, and something I'll show you guys real quick. So if you notice, my radiator hose is still hooked up. Most of the time you have to take that top radiator hose off. I know my garage is a mess, but a long time ago I ground down, you probably can't even see, I ground down the edge right here so that I could get it past the radiator hose. Doesn't do anything, the structure of the battery box, it's not going to hurt anything. Just makes it to where you don't have to drain gallons out of your cooling system just to get the damn battery box out. So I did that a long time ago. You might do that to yours, make it a little bit easier so that you don't have to take the, I don't like taking these top radiator hoses out simply because that's wear and tear on the seal inside here, and the last thing I want is for this thing to start leaking. So yeah, I'll show you guys with it all installed. Honestly, I really don't even got to show it to you, but from here on out you can probably figure it out, but I'm gonna anyway. So give me a second and I'll be right back with you. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, she's back in there. Still got to do the stuff inside the cab, but seals are replaced. There's the old ones that I showed you. Lines are in. Yeah, whatever. Probably didn't get that bracket exactly back in the same spot, but I think it's going to work. Get that rag before I forget about it. Ugh. Had a rag down there trying to soak up some of that shit falling. We are ready to put a degas bottle back in. But that's it, guys. I mean, there's really reverser removal. I guess I'll show you guys putting it back together on the inside. I might as well. I showed you how to take it apart. I better show you how to put it back together. So hang tight. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to do my best to show you what I can, but bolts are back in. The clip is back on. Brake switch is back on. Man, I have no idea what I'm showing y'all. I'm trying to look up and point the camera where I think it needs to go. Let me point right, let's see, like that. Show you the brake switch. Push rod in there is, move it around a little bit. Just pause the video where you need it if you need to look at it. The only thing I'm not showing is the little hat bushing that goes in the push rod, and then you'll slide the switch and the push rod over to the end, slide the switch down on it, and slide it back over. Then put your clip in there and put your safety clip thing back over the spring clip. So there she is, all installed. I'd say it took me about 3 hours, and that's with getting all the antifreeze out of the degas bottle, taking the degas. I mean, the setup was worse than the actual task. If you have any questions, leave a comment below. I'll try to answer it the best I can. And if you're new here, be sure and subscribe. I do videos like this when I have time. I travel for work, so I'm not always home to make videos all the time, but I like to do it when I can. So give me a like and a subscribe, and we'll see you guys next time.